Good afternoon. We would have had a meeting this afternoon, but I hadn't scheduled one, even though we were due for our week on, week off. So I thought I would just go through. You've got the equinox tomorrow. I've done a reading. I'll do a little mini reading for each of you. I wanted to ask you these questions or get you to kind of meditate on this and remind you to take some sacred time. So basically this is going to be a quick 5-minute, this is your fun work. I think I've added a few videos, you've got some meditations, and I know you've got a lot going on, and I know that takes time, so I don't want to add to that because I feel that tomorrow is very much about what you want. What is it you need to do for you? For example, me, I'm drawn to go to the redwoods, the light, so to be in nature, to connect and to meditate. I suggest you do this at the time of balance. I've had some invitations to the Druids Temple, to Avebury. So they're all places I can go to commune, but I felt like I needed to do this just with me and the plants and the trees and the elementals. So that's one thing I would suggest. What is it that you're asking you? What is it you're called to do? Now, this is in reference to our vision boards or our vision for our life. What is it we want is something that comes up, and when we're trying to manifest and bring things in and birthing things into being, and I could give you 100 lists of all these things that I've got great ideas, but they're not actually physically here, though a lot of them are kind of half made. So why are they not finished? Why are they not in completion? Why are they not out there? So different areas of our life is what I thought about how we can think of, and that's just one. Business, a little birthing of an idea, a birthing of a business idea, for example. So asking your questions, for example, on a project or with regards to relationships, regards to home life. These base questions are at the core of shifting when it comes to our vision for who we are, for our vision boards, for creating them, as well as creating our life. And if you can always ask and refer back to this, you can always kind of get yourself into a crystal vision. And that's what I want you to do, to journal and connect with what you need or want. So basically, the first question is, what do you believe about the particular area of your life? I'm going to use as an example, the home. Okay, it's all something you guys know that I've been working on, clearing my home. So what do I believe about that area of my life? Straight away, it with crystal clarity was like, it's messy, needs tidying. So it's constantly going to need tidying because I'm creating again and again and again and again the belief that that is my home needs order. Not that my home has order, that my home needs order. And I'm trying to kind of, with subtlety, wring out of all of us that difference between what a need is and what a knowing is. And there is a very different, and sometimes it subtly can get mixed up with our desire and fears and to the blend in each of those fields. And when we're clearing those fields, we're also clearing out all those everyday mundane. That's why I've used that as a great example. And I suddenly thought, when I've been looking at routines with the Virgo energy, well, actually, it isn't always messy. It can be clear, and it's easier, not hard. But those beliefs of, oh, it's going to be a big task to do it, take all day to tea the kitchen, take all day, not half an hour to unload and load the dishwasher, little things like that. So that's an example of where I'm using an area of my own life, my beliefs about the area of my life. And then what do I want in those areas of life? Order, ease and flow and movement in energy around the home, being and feeling in a different way. So how do we want to do be and feel, as it says on our vision boards? And I'd like to connect into this, back to my roots as well, with you guys each month. A little bit like Yasmin does in her diary, but more so in a very visual, creative way. and a practical way. So we're actually doing it on picking one of those areas. So for me, or for that week as well, and tuning into these questions. So what do I want in those areas? I want it tidy. So why do I want that? Because it feels nice and I have space. It's easier for the videos when I'm recording. There's been 5 separate occasions at least, if not more, where I've gone to record the video for the embodiment and the creative. I've got like my canvas here ready to go with you guys. Really excited about doing it with you, and probably bless Michelle has been waiting since July. One of the ladies that booked, if you're watching this later, it's irrelevant who, but I know the guys watching this will know who that I mean. And I thought, okay, well, why has it not happened? Why have I not done it? And it's because of the space and having an area to physically do it. So why do I want it? Practicalities on that one. So what do I need to do to get it done? So I need that space. I need to have an area. I need to make the time before that to do that. I need to have that practice or routine in place in order for that to constantly be okay, because things is going to happen. They're going to keep changing. They're going to move. And obviously I'm using the example of the home as that, but also reference this to whatever you're looking at. So the belief about the relationship, what do you want in that relationship and why do you want that? So how do you do that? It's not necessarily, well, if you're saying in your relationship you want to have a deeper, more meaningful relationship with your partner, for example, but then you're thinking, like I was at one point, well, that's my partner I can't have that. I'm already, although I'm saying one end of the train, I'm going, but that's not possible if that person's not open to that. And then you're putting that on the train. Instead, start being that way, which I've been doing, and it's been beautifully unfolding for me. So why did I want that? Because I'm married to my partner now and I want my marriage to work, and I want that to that relationship to work. So that can equate to any relationships in our life, business, acquaintances, and how we want to be how treat others how we want to be treated, but being that ourselves, an embodiment of that. So, and this is what I want to move on to, how coaching more about the embodiment, which comes into the tantric energies, and how we shift those energies and how we birth in creation these ideas. It's coming back to asking ourselves what that is that we want, why we want it in that area, and what do we want, what's the belief we have about it, what is it that we actually want, and why do we want that? So, and what do we need to do to get that? Do we just need to be? Because a lot of the time it's actually there's not the step, the inspired action, the consistent, committed, imperfect action, as Matt Schaefer would say. And I would say consistent, committed, imperfect, inspired action. The inspired action part could be just to sit and meditate, to connect. And that's what I think tomorrow, and why I wanted to share this bit in today's video, as we are at the equinox, and this applies for all equinoxes. So whether you're viewing it for this particular equinox or equinoxes to follow, it's that 0 point, it's that set point, like in the meditation, in the recording that I've done for the 0 point, which is a short meditation at the end of one of my card readings. I'll see if I can break it up and separate it, or redo that for the same reason, so you can just do the meditation, but that's on YouTube, on your members list. So blessings to you for your day. I'm going to leave it at that, and just because there's quite a lot that can entail. You could be writing reams of journals about that, or you can just be sitting and having a think and having some time to go, what is it I want right now? What do I want to do? I want to spend some time with my family. I'm home. I'm going to be enjoying the moment. I'm not going to be thinking about work, or I'm not going to think about my job at the moment, or at the opposite. I'm at home. I've spent lots of time with my family. I feel more refreshed. So what is it I want to do with my career? What do I want to move forward? Where do I want to be? Where do I want to live is coming up for me as at the moment. How do I want to live? all of those areas that are on the sheets that you have in your members system, and if you haven't, I can upload them. Let me know if you want those to go through. They are, my packs are there. You can work through those areas and ask yourself that, and more in depth, and how you're feeling with shifting in those areas. So for example, again, what do I believe about the area of finances of my life? And when I readdressed this recently, because before the belief was lack, need to get a job to earn money, there's not enough money, I'm supported by my partner, money's flowing through my partner. When I readdressed this, I thought, well, I don't actually believe that. I always believe that whatever I need comes to me whenever I need it, and money does flow into my life. And actually, I'm taken care of. All of the financial needs in my life are taken care of. Money is not something that's a need. It's around me, but I realised that belief had shifted. So what do I want it for? It's more to have it as an exchange thing, energy exchange for things, or to validate what it is I do. I love what I do. I'm doing it anyway. Whether someone's paying me £5 or £500, I would still be doing what I'm doing. So I realised that I'll allow it to just flow and let go of that. So what do I want? To be able to do things, and I'm doing that. That's happening. That's shifting. So that's transforming. And why do I want that? Because it allows movement. It allows change. It allows you to exchange for goods rendered, for things that you actually want to do, taking the children out, buying food. Well, I started to grow lots of stuff, so I was like, oh, well, that's food is not, that comes anyway. So the act of how I was seeing money was shifting and evolving, and has been for a while. And what do I need to do to have that? I'm already doing it. It's to keep blessing, to keep counting and seeing the blessings and the flow that is already present, but not in the external, but in the feeling. That's the key that I'm seeing happening and shifting. And when it's there, just to revel in it and to be thankful for it, for something that's worked. So I'm not saying it's not something I'm still working through, but I'm seeing it as something that I have actually seen and shifted, rather than I'm working on it, which is what I always used to say to people. And I think I even did in our conversation with one of my members this morning. You know, I'm working on that, receiving, and think, actually, no, I'm enjoying this journey of learning the beautiful gift it is to receive, as well as the beautiful gift it is to give, that I love to do. So blessings in your weekend, your day, for your equinox ladies. Big hugs to you. I will pull 2 cards because this is our weekly meeting. I did one for each. I'll do one for each of you, but I'll do one just for the group. There is the reading from this morning as well. I've already done. This is just for you guys. So loving these. I'm going to move this out the way. My notes that I was writing, doing my studying. I'm excited about training, but I'll put that in our members thing that I'm doing and loving. So what is it that I should be sharing in relation to these questions about opening ourselves up and understanding ourselves, and for the group, for me included, for all of us, as we're on this beautiful journey together? Be that one would come up, and that one hasn't yet. The B's come out a couple of times. Movement, the B, the truth, and the resurrection. The B is our luck, our industriousness, our sweet victory on what we're doing. We're making the changes in our life. We're starting to see the shifts. When you look at those questions, no doubt now, I believe that you won't be so oh, I'm not sure about this, because I think there's a sense that you'll already know. That's why I want you to do this. I want you to see how far you've come with this. It's that reasoning of our frequency and where we are in things, and knowing where we are as the bee, buzzing around, creating that sweet honey, as someone had said it recently, the sweet victory. We're now looking and reflecting back over the last however many cycles, or from the last turning of the wheel, how far we've come, what we've done, our industrialness, and being thankful for that. And that sense of the frequency, the vibration. It's this time of year as well, being when I'm reading this, but you can be doing this from any point in your journey, about where you've been and where you are now, and always evaluating and being grateful for the lessons that you've learned over those weeks, days, months, years. Movement. So there's the bee. The movement. This is the Sacred Journey Oracle. So this is the movement, the water, the emotions, the shifts, the change that is around you. Look at those waves, those ups and downs. Are you in a dip at the moment? Are you in that spot, or are you on an up, on a down? And we have those waves, and we have those times, and it reminds me actually of this book. I don't know if I would have added this to you. Oh my gosh. Written by another friend of mine. Actually, I've got two books of, it seemed to be meeting authors, but I was just going to read you what she says about these different, the gateway states of our being. And there's one called the wow. I wanted to read you what she says about the wow. If I can find it. Penguin. Because it's what's coming up in connection with that sense of the water. The wow. The wow, the depths. Let a little chaos in. Turn to the next page, and together we will embrace the new depths. Why the wow? The wow and I have history. We have been to some emotional depths together. Places I had no clue existed within me. We met one evening. I was sitting outside beyond exhaustion, lost in an ocean of emotional chaos, completely out of options. I heard, let go. What happens? I closed my eyes and did as the wow said. At first, it was like falling and floating all at the same time. I didn't feel alone. There was relief in not having to think, plan or do. That's that spot, sweet spot for the equinox. Not having to plan or think, just being. After what seemed hours, but was actually a minute, I surfaced, lighter, much lighter. I had just surrendered into the deepest panic and terror I had ever known, and not only survived, but I'd risen inevitably. Surely there was nothing left to fear if I could overcome that, especially now that I had the wow to dive deep with. What else might I find? Recognition, which areas of the wow chapters you already completed in, and how much it's still in progress. What remains for you to conquer or master? Why I felt called to do with that, it's sense to me, it's those times when our emotions have overwhelmed. I feel like we've surmounted that. A lot of us in our life, we still have that. That's what I mean by those dips, but we're not in the, now we've got that wow floating with us. And I'm hearing and seeing Star Trek, if any of you are watching Ahsoka, it's Star Wars series on the Disney Channel, where from the Star Wars Rebels stories, the wows are trans-dimensional beings that like literally take you across time to other galaxy, to a completely other galaxy system. And it's that sense of going within, completed, allowing yourself almost like to drown, to die, to be rebirthed. That's what I'm seeing with this, because it's the shift, the change, the movement within. It moves you emotionally and it moves you forward. It's that movement. That's what I'm hearing in not necessarily this card meaning, but what it means at the moment for us. and the truth of our heart's desire, the truth of what it is right now. There's this picture's got a cross on the bridge, and I'm seeing that bridge that we are dimensionally between different realms. Doesn't necessarily, like, we think of the different realms, but the different states of our consciousness, our being. We're bridging that with our own truths. What's true for me, not necessarily true for whoever's watching this, but what is your truth. That's what I'm telling you to be in your own truth, and knowing that my truth can resonate and have this beautiful love and resonate out, and doesn't have to be the same truth as someone else, but still can meet, because it's that same frequency of love and understanding each other and mirroring in different reflections, like the cave of Brahma in our mind. Our being is what is then we're reflecting out into our reality. Restriction, not resurrection. I think I need to add the resurrection from that truth is what's coming out. The truth of resurrection, I think, is obviously there in my subconscious. And what restrictions are in place. The sacred journaling journey, and how we need to maybe put restrictions in place or things and limits, not because we're setting ourselves to be stuck within the limits, but just to have a structure for ourselves to follow. So a good example of what I was saying about with the home for me would be the practice. So every day I'm clearing that, I'm cleansing that. Every day when you shower, you're doing certain practices. Every cycle, every turning the wheel, you're doing your sacred time. You're making sure you have that time for you. You're maybe when you cleansing out the energy of things, you're getting rid of clothes, you're getting rid of those beliefs that aren't actually sticking anymore, that maybe not relevant anymore. So restriction as well. How does this relate to the collective? There may be restrictions on us, is what was happening before. I believe that our truth is that we are not needing to have those restrictions. The restrictions for me is like my diet at the moment. For example, I was called, my guidance was saying, no, that's not right for you. But it wasn't a restriction in place because I needed to sacrifice or suffer, if you like. It was more because it's shifting me and pushing me out of the comfort zone, and that tension and the resistance, feeling where it is, so that I know where I need to move next. Because where the resistance shows up in our life is the key to shifting, to moving, to transforming, to changing things. So I will leave it at that for you guys, because this is getting longer than I hoped. Time is running on. Blessings for your day. There'll be some stuff up that I'll record over the weekend for you, just for a little bit of housekeeping here. But have a wonderful day wherever you are in your now moment. Thank you for joining me.